We'll hear from Joplin's mayor on the decision to not renew the city's mask ordinance. The city of Parsons, Kansas votes to extend its mask ordinance.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
You learn more about why the city of Joplin has decided to drop its mask mandate. This is KOAM News at 5. Yesterday, the city announced the mask mandate would be expiring on Sunday at midnight. The release cited a decrease in the number of cases in the community. Mayor Ryan Stanley today reaffirmed that stance, saying it would have been difficult for the city to extend the mandate when cases are on the decline. Stanley says there was not a meeting held to discuss the ordinance because not enough members of the council were interested.
Those meetings create a lot of division in the community. Those meetings create a lot of frustration on both sides. And why would we create division? Why would we create frustration if it's pretty clear on the direction council wants to go?
Mayor Stanley says the city council plans to discuss other COVID-19 restrictions like the limit on outdoor gatherings during the city council meeting Monday night. We're going to have more on this later tonight at 6. Across the state line in southeast Kansas, the city has decided to extend its mask mandate. The city of Parsons last night voted to extend their citywide mask mandate into May. The mandate was first put into place in July of last year. City officials say the numbers in the community have gone down, but they just want to play it safe.
You want to be on the side of caution. You want to be on the side of safety and the health of the citizens. If it means wearing a mask from your vehicle into when you sit down to eat, or if you're at a meeting and watching your social distancing, then that's what it means. That's for the safety.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear the opinions of a few Parsons residents. Well, the federal government is giving an area medical center millions of dollars in a grant. The U.S. Department of Commerce is giving the Neosho Memorial Regional Medical Center in Chanute, Kansas, $2.6 million in a CARES Act grant. The grant is going to be used to establish the Southeast Kansas Impact Center for Wellness, Education, and Business. Officials expect the new center to create 256 jobs and generate $45 million in private investment. Doug Kennedy joining us now with the first look at forecasts. You look outside and it's dreary, kind of depressing, but then you remind yourself, what day is it?
It's very true. It is Friday, so we are heading into the weekend, but this is very common for us in February where we just get these cloudy, kind of dreary days across the region. And that's what we're seeing. Most of us have been dry, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a random shower or a few sprinkles as we go through the evening hours, as we have a little wave that is rotating through, but you can see not much on the radar. Everything is mainly to our south and to our east. So this wave is going to shift on by. But we have another wave out across parts of the Rockies, which will move right on in tomorrow night and then heading into the weekend. It's going to kind of curl out into the central plains, and that will give us some additional rain chances. Temperatures kind of chilly. Most of us are sitting into the mid-40s. We have these kind of easterly winds which switch to the south over the past several hours at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 40s down to about 42. I do think we're going to get some fog in here tonight, so we're going to watch out for that. Look at the weekend here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you. The U.S. has taken its first known military actions approved by President Biden. The overnight attack targeted Iranian-backed militia members in eastern Syria near the Iraq border. Pentagon says the strike was a response to recent attacks in Iraq that killed a civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member. As President Biden left for Texas this morning, he did not answer reporter questions about the attack. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince likely approved the killing of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. That's according to a newly declassified U.S. intelligence report released today. Despite promising to punish senior Saudi leaders while on the campaign trail, the Biden administration says they will not be sanctioning the Crown Prince. Soon as tonight, the House could vote on President Biden's nearly $2 trillion American Rescue Plan. The bill is expected to pass along narrow party lines, putting it on a path to become law next month. But Democrats lost out on a key provision in the plan. Reporter Stephen Portnoy has more details from the White House.
The House is preparing to vote on the president's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
We have the ability to crush this virus and get more resources where they are badly needed.
The package includes $1,400 stimulus checks for individuals earning less than $75,000 a year. It boosts federal unemployment payments to $400 a week. It also includes funding for school reopenings, assistance for rent and food, money for vaccine distribution, and aid for state and local governments. The bill will likely pass with few, if any, Republican votes.
We already know what is the best stimulus plan out there. It is to fully reopen our economy.
The House bill contains a $15 an hour minimum wage provision, but in the Senate, the parliamentarian says it can't survive the process that Democrats are using to avoid a GOP filibuster. Here at the White House, aides say the president is disappointed by that decision, but he respects it.
We are committed to finding the best path forward to increasing the minimum wage, and that will require a number of conversations with leaders in Congress and members who are committed to this issue moving forward.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is considering a new provision that would tax large corporations that don't pay their workers at least $15 an hour. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, the White House.
Republicans have put forward several plans to raise the minimum wage. Senators Tom Cotton and Mitt Romney unveiled legislation to boost the minimum wage to $10 an hour, while Missouri Senator Josh Hawley unveiled his plan this morning that would boost it up to $15 an hour, but only for corporations with more than $1 billion in revenue. Still ahead, a lesson for families with online store accounts.
An Amazon shopping spree lands a little girl in some hot water. I'm Naomi Ruckham with how her family is using this as a teachable moment.
And next in Health Watch, the FDA reviews Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine in what could be the final step before emergency authorization. A new first-of-its-kind real-world study of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine shows it's as good as the trials demonstrated. According to the peer-reviewed data published in the New England Journal of Medicine, the study of more than 1 million people in Israel found that 2 doses of its shots slashed symptomatic coronavirus cases by 94% and prevented severe cases of COVID-19 by 92%. An FDA advisory panel endorses Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine. The hearing is considered the last step before the FDA formally grants emergency use authorization for the vaccine, which requires only 1 dose. Madeline Rivera reports from outside the Food and Drug Administration's headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland.
The U.S. is poised to get its 3rd COVID-19 vaccine. An independent FDA advisory committee met virtually to review Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine.
Here is the question for the committee. Based on the totality of scientific evidence available, do the benefits of Janssen COVID-19 vaccine outweigh its risks?
The FDA confirms that J&J's vaccine is slightly less effective than the Moderna and Pfizer shots overall, but showed 85% efficacy against severe illness and complete protection against COVID-19 deaths 28 days after getting the shot.
It is well tolerated and safe. We enrolled more than 19,000 participants in the U.S., paid particular attention to include a diverse population.
It also has advantages the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines do not. It can be stored at normal refrigeration temperatures and requires only 1 dose.
It can lead to the ability to reach both individual and herd immunity more quickly. Essentially, it simplifies the process.
The Johnson & Johnson shot was tested in part in South Africa while variants of the virus were spreading. Moderna announced this week it is preparing clinical trials for a booster shot for the South Africa variant.
FDA authorization of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine could come as early as this weekend. If that happens, the vaccine could be headed to states next week.
Johnson & Johnson says it expects to provide 20 million doses by the end of March. Madeline Rivera, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Now, side effects for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine include fever, fatigue, and headache, similar to other coronavirus vaccines. Vitamin D deficiency does not increase the risk of type 1 diabetes. That's according to new Canadian research that suggests earlier links between vitamin D and diabetes could be due to physical location and exposure to sunlight. People at risk for diabetes are advised not to use vitamin D supplements to prevent the disease. A new study blames menthol cigarettes for almost 400,000 premature deaths from 1980 to 2018. Research published in the journal Tobacco Control suggests menthol cigarettes helped recruit an estimated 10 million new smokers during that time frame. A law passed in 2009 gives the FDA the power to ban menthol cigarettes, but the agency has not acted upon that as of yet. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast a little bit later. A Commerce Department report shows the economic benefits of the latest round of stimulus checks.
Well, it turned out to be a gloomy Friday, but it is Friday, and we are heading into the weekend. But it's been mainly dry throughout the daytime hours for us today. A little bit on the chilly side, as we have been sitting into the 40s throughout the daytime hours. February is almost done. We're going to roll into March next week, and if we look back at February, week 1 was pretty good. Week 2 and 3 were awful. These are high temperatures. And then this week, not too bad. We hit 73 on Tuesday. We've cooled down just a bit over the past couple days, but still not that bad. Cloudy skies, currently outside 46, south winds at about 5 to 10. Humidity is at 79%. And you can see most of our temperatures, we're sitting into low to mid 40s. We're not going to drop off too much for us tonight, but still it's going to be a little bit chilly out there. And we have these south winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the winds are going to stay fairly light. We'll slide back through the 40s. I do think we're going to get some fog building in here, especially after midnight, so be careful if you are going to be on the roadways. Temperatures down to about 38 or 39 degrees for an overnight low. A lot of clouds across the region, not much underneath the clouds, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of drizzle or a random shower or some sprinkles popping up as we go through the evening hours as this weak wave continues to push off toward the east. Right behind it, we have another little wave which is dropping in, and this will start to affect us as we head into the weekend. So we got one chunk of energy pushing through, second chunk of energy which is diving down into the western parts of the Rockies. Let's go through time. Clouds, some fog for us tonight. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we get a random shower. You can see the fog during the morning hours, burns off. By noon, we look pretty good as we approach 60. And then I think most of us will go into the mid-60s for highs. 39 to start, 61 by noon. High temp is 66. South winds 5 to 15, but clouds will start to increase again as we go into tomorrow evening. We'll get some light showers scattered, starting to pop up through the evening hours, and then as a cold front slides in tomorrow night, we'll get a little band of rain that works through the region. Some showers, and then most of this is out of here by Sunday morning, but a lot of clouds kind of stick around throughout the daytime hours on Saturday. Rainfall amounts, they're going to be light. I would say anywhere from 1/10 of an inch, maybe upwards to 1/4 of an inch in spots with this next system that rolls through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Of course, we're about ready to jump into March, so we will be talking about severe weather over the next several days, at least getting ready for the season. But so on day one, let's talk about who has the highest threat for severe weather. And it's actually we're on the edge of that moderate to highest threat. I think the greatest threat is going to be through the Dixie states and then back into our region. But the traditional tornado alley, central Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, I think their severe weather will actually be a little bit lower for us this year. So we're going to have to watch that, and of course we're going to continue to talk about this as we head into next week. 66 for us tomorrow, 50 on Sunday, back to 61 on Wednesday, maybe some thunderstorms by next Thursday.
Doug, when you put up that severe weather map, there was a collective here in the studio. There was a collective, it's already time to talk about that, unfortunately.
Yeah, busy spring.
All right, man, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you so much. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store. If you have an Android phone, all you have to do is search for the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Coming up, the story of a little girl, God bless her, who racked up quite the bill on Amazon. But first, we pause to honor a local veteran. Jack Coombs served U.S. Navy from 1952 to 56. Pittsburgh native, was stationed in Korea and also China. We salute boat's mate, 3rd Class Jack Coombs. He's tonight's Force Day hero. If you'd like to learn about all of our Force Day heroes, or if you'd like to nominate your own, do that anytime. Just log on to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The latest round of stimulus checks worth $600 sent income soaring and people shopping. According to the Commerce Department, personal spending rose 2.4% last month. That nearly matched expectations, and incomes jumped 10% thanks to a stimulus check boost. Keep in mind, spending is a closely watched metric because consumers make up about 2/3 of economic activity. More trouble for Boeing. The Chicago-based company is being slapped with a $5.4 million fine by the FAA. Boeing reportedly violated the terms of a safety settlement reached in 2015. The company must also pay an additional $1 million to settle a pair of enforcement cases. FAA officials say they have told Boeing over and over again to prioritize safety and comply with regulations. A cautionary tale now for grown-ups who sometimes let the kiddos play with their phone or tablet. A little girl wound up in a great deal of trouble after spending $3,000 on her grandparents' Amazon account. I'm not her parent, and my blood pressure is still going up. Reporter Naomi Ruckham has more on the shopping spree and the lessons her family hopes to share.
Leah Grabowski is awfully smart for a 7-year-old.
Leah's pretty quiet, but evidently very mischievous, right, Leah? So she is a leader of the pack. So she is the one who always comes up with different ideas.
She recently had one of those brilliant ideas while using her grandparents' iPad.
Evidently, Leah got bored with kids' YouTube and decided to go on a shopping spree on her Amazon account.
Leah's grandfather told her she could choose a gift worth $20, but within about 15 minutes, Leah had picked out 80 different items, racking up a $3,200 bill. The second grader had to admit to her parents what she'd done.
Smartwatches, walkie-talkies.
While she bought toys for herself, Leah also got some gifts for her cousins, and she ordered 2 refrigerators for her grandparents on accident.
In the afternoon, some of the boxes came, and then the next day, even more boxes came, and the next day, even more boxes came.
They were able to cancel a few shipments before they arrived, but the rest had to be returned, and Leah's grandparents are still waiting to get all of their money back.
Well, clearly Leah's a very smart girl, but did you ever imagine she could take it this far?
No, never. Not in our wildest dreams. You have to start much sooner than 7 explaining to children that money doesn't grow on a tree.
As a consequence, Leah lost her screen time privileges.
Leah, did you learn your lesson?
Yes.
A lesson learned the hard way. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
What's scary to me is that Leah reminds me of one of my boys perfectly. As another consequence for her shopping spree, Leah had to spend her holiday money on a gift for her class. Her parents and grandparents say they wanted the second grader to fully understand her actions. I agree. All right. Twitter users could soon make money with their tweets. The company unveiled a new feature called Super Follow. Users are going to be able to sell special content to followers starting at $5 a month. Twitter says it's still in the very early stages of development. There's no word yet on when it would launch. Final check of the forecast next. TV News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6. Excuse me, we're going to have more from Parsons city officials on the decision to extend its mask ordinance. Plus, vaccine distributors in Ottawa County, Oklahoma are struggling to keep up with the demands. And an area gym donates to Joplin's Leffen Center for Autism as a way to honor one of the people behind the opening of the Leffen Center. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. All right, a Czech free diver has set a world record in men's swimming under ice. David Vincel swam the longest distance of 265 feet, holding his breath this week. Goodness. In this category, free divers cannot use any fin, diving suit, cap, or weights. The previous record was set 250 feet. It was back in April of 2013. That's according to the Guinness Book of World Records. It took Vincel 1 minute, 35 seconds to set the record at a lake in northern Czech Republic. Organizers say the ice was nearly a foot thick. And just in case if you're wondering, that's a condition for the record to be recognized. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm glad we don't have ice around here anymore. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, actually, we're going to warm up quite a bit for us tomorrow. 66 degrees, almost 20 degrees warmer. We are going to get some showers in here tomorrow night and then into Sunday. So Sunday, kind of a dreary day with a few showers during the morning hours. And then a little cool Monday and Tuesday, back into the 60s by the middle of next week.
All right, Doug, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6.